So lesson 8-5, we're going to talk about rentals, condominiums, and cooperatives. So we're going to compute costs of purchasing a cooperative or a condominium and understand the advantages and disadvantages of different forms of homes. So our key terms: condominium. This is a form of home ownership where each unit is individually owned. So it's one building, but in that building you have different homes that are individually owned. Maintenance fee. This is a fee paid monthly by condo owners and used to hire workers to maintain common areas such as lawns, outside walls, decks, roofs, sidewalks, and roads. A co-op apartment. This is a form of home ownership where an investor purchases shares of a cooperative and then is able to live in the apartment. A cooperative is a form of home ownership where a corporation owns a group of apartments and takes out a mortgage to buy the entire apartment complex. Investors purchase shares which allow them to occupy the apartments. Co-op owners do not own their individual apartment. Instead, they own a portion of the entire cooperative development. So there's a big apartment building. They don't actually own the apartment itself, but they have shares invested in that. A landominium is similar to a condominium, except the owner owns both the home and the land on which the home is built. Board of directors. This is a group of people who are elected by the condominium or landominium owners to manage the business matters of it. Equity. This is the amount of a home that an owner actually owns. So over time, you gain equity in the home as its value increases. You actually gain money on it. So some things to think about here. What alternatives are there to purchasing a single-family home? Most of you probably live in a single-family home or know somebody that does live in a single-family home, but you have options to that. Responsibilities that a homeowner has for the upkeep of a home. So if you have a home, you live with your parents, what are some responsibilities that they have to keep the home up to par, to keep it in good shape? Which of these responsibilities do renters also have? Now, if you think about it, if you have an apartment, if you've ever lived in an apartment or know somebody that does, what are their responsibilities? Are they the same that a homeowner has? Are condominiums single-family dwellings? Are they townhouses? Are they apartments? What might be the benefits of owning a landominium? So these questions you need to finish in your notes as well as on a separate sheet of paper, please. Example 1, last year Bert paid a monthly condominium maintenance fee of $912. So every month he paid $912 to take care of the maintenance in the condominium. 15% of this fee covered his monthly property taxes. How much did Bert pay last year in property taxes on his condo? So each month the $912, 15% of that went to his taxes. So we need to first find 15% of the fee. So 0.15 times 912, get an answer. So that's what he pays monthly for his taxes. So we need to multiply the answer that you just got in 1 by 12 months, and that is what he pays in his taxes. So you need to go ahead and finish this problem in your notes, please. So multiply 15% and 912. Take that answer, multiply it by 12, and that's how much he paid over the course of the entire year for taxes. Check your understanding. We're going to go ahead and skip this question. Example 2. So the co-op, again, you own pieces of it. So the Seaford Cove Cooperative is owned by the shareholders. The co-op has a total of 50,000 shares. Janet has an apartment at Seaford Cove and owns 550 shares of the cooperative. What percentage of Seaford Cove does Janet own? So again, percentage, what you've earned out of what you could have earned. Multiply by 100. So she has 550 shares out of a total possible 50,000 shares. Multiply that by 100. So 550 out of 50,000, and then get an answer, multiply that by 100. So you need to finish this question. Check your understanding. We're going to go ahead and skip this question. Example 3, we're going to go ahead and skip this one as well. Check your understanding. We're going to skip this. 4, we're also going to, this one we're going to do here. Jake and Gloria moved into an apartment and pay $1,900 rent per month. The landlord told them that the rent has increased 4.1% per year on average. Express the rent Y as an exponential function of the number of years they rent the apartment and determine the amount that rent will be when they renew their lease for year 14. So here's your formula, your exponential formula. Y is the monthly rent, A is the initial rent, R is the percent increase, And X is the growth period, so how long are they going to be there? Now you'll notice that it says X minus 1 because we need to take out that first year that they lived in that apartment. So we take Y equals A times 1 plus R raised to the X minus 1. And you should have 1900 times 1 plus 0.041, close parenthesis, raised to the 14 minus 1. Go ahead and simplify that. You can do this on a calculator, so go ahead and fill in what Y equals. Probably should end up somewhere around $3,000 if you've done it correctly. A little bit more, a little bit less. But it should be around $3,000. So you need to go ahead and finish that question. Check your understanding. We're going to go ahead and skip that question. Example 5. We're going to go ahead and skip this question as well. Check your understanding. We're going to go skip this question. And example 6. In the 2000s, the price of cooperative apartments soared until the economic recession of 2009. In 1995, Ruth and Gino bought a co-op for $98,000. They borrowed $75,000 from the bank to buy their co-op. Years passed and they wanted to sell their co-op, but the price dipped to $61,000. Their equity, what they had into it, what they actually have into the co-op, was $6,744. If they sold the co-op, they would have to pay off the mortgage. How much did they need to pay the bank back? So find what they owe the bank right now. Well, they borrowed $75,000 from the bank, but they have equity in it, so they own basically about $6,744. So you need to find out what they actually owe the bank. So take $75,000 minus $6,744, get your answer. Step 2, find the amount they owe because of the price drop. So when the price of their co-op dropped, that's about what they can sell it for right now, which is $61,000. So you're going to take your answer from line 1, what they owe the bank, subtract out the $61,000. So this value here is what they have to make up, what they have to basically charge the seller or the buyer when they go to sell their co-op. So they would need to add this amount of money to the selling price to pay the bank back. So whatever you got in 2 is going to be your answer for 3. So this is just 2 simple subtraction steps here. You need to do this side work on this slide and then fill in those answers. And then the check your understanding, we're going to skip this question. And that's the end of chapter 8.